What's up everyone? Today I'm making a showcase video of my Megatron collection. I did one for my Optimus collection, so I thought it was only right that I also do one for Megatron here. Starting here in the back right, we have the original Masterpiece Megatron, who still has a certain charm about him in my opinion. I especially love his shine, and his overall stature is still really cool. Even though he was clearly improved upon in every way by the next Masterpiece Megatron, this one still has a certain charm about him in my opinion, and I quite like his head sculpt as well. Moving to the left, we have the original Rotf Leader Megatron, the original Movie 1 Megatron, who are both absolute messes of figures in my opinion. The first Movie 1 is okay for its time, but I always hated the blue shine on him, so I was never really impressed with this figure. And this figure's posability and awkward arms just never worked for me. On the other hand, I have always loved the official NPM Megatron. I know a lot of people don't like the colors on him, but it was just so thrilling to finally get a good representation of this design after only having this one for so many years that I really like him, and I'm okay with the kind of weird bronze and non-movie accurate colors he's got. I think it adds a nice pop to him. It shows off the sculpting in a way that if he was just all plain gray and metal, I don't think it would work as much. I actually don't like the third-party one that a lot of people prefer as much as the official one. Then we've got Energon Megatron here, who is a super underrated version of Megatron in my opinion. If he had just a little bit more posability, maybe some different types of joints, he would honestly be one of the all-time best Megatron figures. But even as is, he's tons of fun. His vehicle mode is lots of fun. He's really solid, pretty posable. He's got really cool weapons, just a nice sculpt overall, and I love that figure. That being said, I love even more the Cybertron Megatron mold. Here I have both the Megatron and Galvatron molds. I especially love the shine on Galvatron. When I finally got him at BotCon 2012, I was so impressed with how he actually looked in person. I managed to snag this one for something like 30 bucks at the time, which was a huge steal compared to how this guy goes today. And I got this guy during the original line, and I've always loved this figure. He's so posable. His 3 modes are all cool, his Cyber Key is cool, his Cyber Key weapons are awesome. This is definitely one of the all-time great Megatron figures in my opinion. Moving back to the right, we have Combiner Wars Megatron, who is also a very underrated Megatron in my opinion. I know a lot of people don't care for him, but I love his working shreds, his shine, his proportions work for me. I made a whole video in my favorite figure series talking about why he's one of my favorite figures. Basically, I think that they struck the right balance of a G1-esque design while doing new things and giving him a tank mode, better than they have on any subsequent release. Over here, I just have the basic Transformers Prime Megatron. I would really like to get the deluxe one day because he seems to be a lot better and I love his paint job more, but for now, I just have the original Voyager Transformers Prime Megatron. Moving down here, I have the Voyager Revenge of the Fallen Megatron, who's known for his weird sea green colors, but honestly, I've always loved his posability so much. I know his backpack isn't movie accurate, but it doesn't look terrible in terms of just a Megatron design in my opinion. This Megatron to me is a little bit overhated, even though he's not accurate. He's a lot of fun, he's very posable, and I might be interested in getting the repaint of him in the movie The Best line from Takara one day. Then we have the Siege Cel-Shaded Megatron. I love the cel shading work on him and his Optimus Prime counterpart, but I hate the mold. Compared to Combiner Wars Megatron, I just feel like this mold is super uninspired. It tries too hard to be G1, but it's also trying to give him the new tank mode, and it just doesn't work for me. I like the Combiner Wars one that embraces his back kibble and gives him different proportions, the treads on his legs, more than I like this one that tries to give him a complete G1 facade and just stuffs the treads on his back. I don't know, I've just never really been impressed with this Megatron mold, and I'm really hoping we get a new Megatron mold sometime soon that tries to be original again. Because a good Megatron figure to me is basically missing from the whole War for Cybertron trilogy. Over here we have Animated Leader Megatron, one of the few animated figures I have left in my collection because I never really cared for animated. I know, unpopular opinion, but this figure is a lot of fun. I love his swords, I love how big he is, his vehicle mode, his moving mouth feature there is really cool. I love the lights, stature, and overall design, and he'll probably remain in my collection as one of the few animated figures that I keep. And then here we have the Megatrons that started it all for me, the Armada Megatron and the Armada Galvatron. I actually got Galvatron first when I was little, so he's even more special to me. And I hope to have the Takara one day for his more accurate face paint and purple highlights, but for now, these are the Hasbro ones. And I also have the non-transforming SCF figure in his silver there. And over here off to the side, I'll move him back over here, I have the Mega SCF non-transforming figure, who I just did a review for on my channel, and I reviewed all the other figures in this line as well. They're all a lot of fun, and he's a great representation of Armada Megatron. Then, of course, we have Kingdom Galvatron, who's a pretty excellent figure in my opinion. I wish he didn't have the shoulder misassembly, but otherwise I'm really happy with him, especially because, like I said, I didn't like any of the Megatron offerings in the War for Cybertron trilogy. It was nice to get a great Galvatron though. Coming over here, I have the Thrilling 30 Deluxe Megatron, who I pretty much know nothing about because I have never read the comics he's in, but I like his design. I think his stealth bomber mode is cool. I wish he was a bit bigger with more solid joints. I think that would have done the design a favor, but otherwise a cool figure. Then I have the Fall of Cybertron Megatron, who's very special to me because he was in the Prime vs. Megatron video I did. I love his stature, I love his design, his posability. I wish he had some better ankles and maybe could be a Voyager or something like that, but honestly he's still really good. I love his tank mode. Everything about this figure is really cool. I love the asymmetry of his arms there, his arm cannon, his head sculpt, everything about the War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron aesthetics really works for me, and I love this figure. Then I have the Generations Classics Green Megatron, who I've never been a big fan of. I did like the Optimus that he came with though, but yeah, not much to say about him. Kind of a cool, unique Megatron, but not my favorite. The Robot Replicas Non-Transforming Movie 1 Megatron. I've always loved robot replicas, especially this Megatron, because, like I said, I was really itching for an accurate Megatron when the original leader didn't give that to us. So having this Robot Replicas Megatron always was something I really enjoyed having. Then I have the Core Class Kingdom Megatron, and I guess I take it back about the War for Cybertron trilogy not having a good Megatron, because there he is. I love this guy. He's perfect. I think this nailed it way better than the actual Voyager did, and I hope they embrace a design more like this in the future when giving us Voyagers and leaders and such. Then over here I have some various fast food meals. I think this Megatron came with a lollipop coming out of his head. He has this weird kind of cool punching action that you can press in the back and get him to punch. Pretty unique G1 style Megatron there. Animated Megatron from some fast food meal. Rotf Megatron from some fast food meal. A very tiny Movie 1 Megatron that came off the top of a pin. He's pretty incredibly detailed for being as small as he is. Honestly got better paint apps than some of the Studio Series figures. I've always loved these little pin guys that come off the top of like these dollar store pins from back in the day. And then some fast food version of Transformers Prime Megatron, with a thing on the top of him that used to light up if you pushed it, but my battery is dead. It's Megatron in his Transformers Prime ship mode, and I believe he also shot a missile or something out. Oh yeah, there you go. And there you have it, that is my Megatron and Galvatron collection. Much smaller than Optimus, but still a collection I really like. Tons of great figures here, especially the Unicron trilogy figures, who I just feel like were way ahead of their time and have aged so well. And of course the Masterpiece Megatron is just a masterpiece in every sense of the word. If anyone was to only get one Masterpiece G1 figure, he would probably be the one I recommend based off the ones that I've handled. So that's my Megatron and Galvatron collection. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more Transformers content.